two different sporting events going on last night, both coming down to the absolute wire. The Braves find a way to score 4 in the top of the ninth. I was watching it with my 10-year-old, who you guys know is a huge Braves fan. He was super excited, and we were doing what a lot of you were doing last night based on the messages and everything else that I was seeing. People were jumping back and forth between what was a fabulous Monday Night Football game, the Saints storming back from a 20-3 deficit, and then a game going into overtime while they were also watching, as we were, everything that was going on in the Braves-Dodgers game. Braves get hot late, find a way to get the win after being tied at 1-1. It was a huge win for Atlanta, which entered into the series as the underdog and has now won 6 games in a row. Now, the Dodgers coming into this had won 9 in a row. I think they won the final 4 of the regular season, certainly the first 5 of the postseason. And now there's going to be a lot of pressure on Clayton Kershaw. And so we're going to talk with Petros Papadakis here in a few minutes. But for everybody out there waking up early, listening to us on AM 570 LA Sports, you guys are all sitting around saying, here we go again. Because for the Dodgers this season, it was World Series title or bust. It's really what they were designed for this year. It's what they were built for, and they had a phenomenal 60-game season. For the Braves, I think a lot of Braves fans are like, man, we kind of feel like we're playing with house money. We're back in the NLCS. Well, wow, now that we're up 1-0, we'd like to be able to advance into the World Series, but this is such an unexpected cornucopia of postseason success based on the past 20 years or so. You don't really expect for this to be panning out like it has. And this is maybe going to be in October to remember. We'll see what happens. I think this series between the Braves and the Dodgers is going to be a great one. So the Braves score 1 early in that series, all right, to go up 1-0. But, man, simultaneously, we had an epic battle going on in Monday Night Football between the Saints and the Chargers. Drew Brees against Justin Herbert. And it felt like the Saints were in immense trouble when the Chargers went up 20-3. 17-point lead late in the first half. And then you kind of sit back, if you're a Chargers fan, unfortunately, and think, well, we've been here before. And what ended up happening, and this is a crazy stat, is so far this season, the Chargers have blown a 17-6 lead against Patrick Mahomes. They have blown a 24-7 lead against Tom Brady, and they now have blown a 20-3 lead against Drew Brees. All of those ended up being losses. Now, positive is that's all losses at least to Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And yes, I'm saying Patrick Mahomes is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. We know Brady and Brees are first ballot unanimous guys, basically. So you could at least hope, if you are a Chargers fan, that your early season schedule has been brutal and your quarterback, Justin Herbert, has played out of his mind. And now you would hope, even though you're in a pretty tough division, you would hope that you can start to get a little bit of rhythm. And in fact, if you break this down, now if you are a Charger fan, the next 5 games are all very winnable. You got the Jags. That should be a game Chargers win. Then you go on the road against the Broncos. Frankly, should be a game the Chargers win. Raiders come to town, total toss-up game. On the road against the Dolphins, it's a very winnable game for the Chargers. And then the Jets come to town. So in the next 5, you would feel pretty good about your chances to win some of those, right? That's probably, if you go 3-2, if you're a Charger fan, you're probably like, okay, that's not bad, but I think we could have done better. But right now you're sitting at 1-4, and you're like, man, if I go back and think all those games that we played, I can probably change 4 plays, and we're sitting here at 5-0 instead of at 1-4. And certainly one of the plays you would change was the doink off of the upright that would have won the game. And then you combine that with getting stopped a yard short on 4th down after holding the Saints to a field goal. And that in and of itself is just a huge mess, right? The Chargers' ability to lose close games is without parallel right now in the NFL. In fact, if you want me to put it in an even better context, the Chargers are now 3-13 in one-score games in their last 16. That's pretty improbable to lose that many one-score games, to go that bad against the number is a sign that the Chargers, in many respects, are frankly cursed, all right? So that is all going on. That was amazing to follow. Really entertaining games in general, NLCS Game 1 and Monday Night Football. What's also wild is we have got a Tuesday Night Football game tonight, and I am going, and there are fans going to be present. And let me say this, by the way, before I get to Tuesday Night Football. I also enjoyed, how great was it to watch the NLCS? And even though it's nowhere near a full stadium, how great was it to see crowds present in the stands, as opposed to cardboard cutouts or advertisements or whatever else? When there was a foul ball hit into the crowd, or when there was a home run hit, and you could see fans sitting there with their gloves trying to make a play on the home run balls, that felt incredibly normal. And I think you have to give credit to Major League Baseball for making that happen in Texas. Also, the governor of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott, who we've had on this radio program, for allowing fans to be present in Texas. Out in California, they still aren't going to be allowed to have any fans present. But in most of the country, people have stopped losing their minds. By the way, we got a good article up about this on Outkick. How wild is it that Disney World has been open now for months, since July, and that they are probably not going to be able to open Disneyland in California now, is the expectation, until the summer. So you're going to talk about Disneyland being closed for over a year and everything being back open in Disney World. And by the way, there's a New York Times article I read yesterday which said basically there have been no contact tracing elements associated with any outbreaks at Disney World. So we probably got people who are listening to us that would love to go to Disneyland. And it's crazy if you look at the data that place is not open. But it is emblematic of not just an entertainment option at Disneyland and Disney World, but that's also what we're dealing with right now when you look at baseball fans being allowed in Texas and not allowed in California at all for the ALCS and the NLCS, a different treatment. I'm going to go to the game tonight. I can't wait. I'll come back on Wednesday and talk, obviously, about this game, huge one between the undefeated Bills and the undefeated Titans, and about what the experience of going to an NFL game is like right now. I'm taking my two kids. Jason Whitlock is going with me as well. We should have a good time. Can't wait to come back on Wednesday and talk about it with you. But first, we are going to be finishing off this hour of this program. And up next is Petros Papadakis at the Old P, AM 570 LA Sports. Always fun with him. We'll talk about the Chargers' loss, a.k.a. the Saints' win, the Lakers winning a title, and what in the world is going on in the mind of Dodger fans as they get ready for Clayton Kershaw to take the mound in Game 2 of the NLCS. All that still to come. I am Clay Travis. Thanks for hanging with us here on Fox Sports Radio.